A very warm welcome to Newswatch tonight. Hoping you had a wonderful day today. My name is Melissa Oduor, bringing you some of the news that made headlines. Boniface Muridi is on the sign language. Newswatch begins now. President William Ruto has decried the unfair financing in global climate, saying it is forcing Africa to raise most of its resources at home and placing an impossible burden on economies that have contributed the least to this crisis. Speaking during a high-level solutions dialogue on climate finance on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Ruto said the best way forward is to ease debt, mobilize domestic resources, unlock private and international public finance, stop illicit financial flows, secure a fair global tax system, and drive major investments such as the $100 billion framework led by Africa's financial institutions. He said with bold initiatives like the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative and the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables, Africa is turning climate solutions into engines of growth, positioning the continent as a global hub for green industry, advancing a win-win for development and the planet.
As African leaders, we are stepping forward through initiatives like the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative and the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables in Africa. We are reforming our policies, mobilizing domestic capital, and building strong project pipelines to attract global investors. Just last week, 8 of Africa's leading financial institutions signed a cooperation framework aimed at unlocking US dollars 100 billion in investment. We are doing our part, but to succeed, we need global offtake agreements, market access, and foreign investment at scale. This is precisely where public finance comes in. Its role is not just to fund, but to catalyze the risk and to enable. We must ensure that those able to provide competitive global climate solutions are not held back by unfair financing systems or asymmetries in market access. Africa carries, yes, some of the heaviest burdens of climate crisis. Yet within us lies immense hope and solutions for the future. Although in today's global climate, optimism is often in short supply, I remain absolutely confident that Kenya, Africa, and indeed the world can meet this challenge because we can and we must. The discussions leading up to this meeting highlight what must drive us forward: easing debt pressures, strengthening domestic resource mobilization, unlocking private capital, scaling international public finance, and doing all this through country-led platforms and strategies.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has assured residents of northeastern counties of Mandera, Isiolo and Wajir that the government is committed to securing the region by completing the tarmacking of the major highway connecting the region. While addressing the local Jukwaa la Usalama, CS Murkomen said President William Ruto's government made a pledge to open up the northeastern counties, adding that once completed, the more than 700-kilometer road project will boost security and improve the region's development. For that mix-up, that story is on Litein Girls High School in Bureti, Kericho County that has been closed indefinitely following reports of possible unrest among students. An urgent board meeting convened to address the growing concerns and decided that releasing the students would help ease the pressure and avoid potential disruptions. However, parents have expressed concern that the timing of the indefinite closure, pointing out that it will disrupt learning schedules, especially as students approach the critical period of preparing for the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE exams. The closure comes just a day after Litein Boys High School was also shut indefinitely following a rampage by students who caused extensive damage to property. Reports indicated that the boys were protesting against the management and also wanted to be allowed to watch the highly anticipated match between Arsenal and Manchester City. Political rivalry between Kakamega County boss Fernandez Barasa and his predecessor Wycliffe Oparanya has intensified following their recent public spat. Governor Barasa is defending his administration of accusations of undermining the former regime, insisting that it is only cooperating with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC as requested. And as Sami Adika reports, this follows claims by Oparanya that Governor Barasa is orchestrating efforts to damage his political reputation, and he has vowed to counter such moves with equal force.
Days after cooperatives and MSMEs Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya accused Governor Barasa of fueling graft allegations against him, Barasa has come to his defense, claiming Oparanya is undermining his leadership.
Ile madarao ambayo umeanza kuonyesha kitakuramba, my friend. Uweze enda kuambia watu ya kwamba governor ni kitu kidogo sana. Mimi nilichaguliwa kama governor. Naambia mzee, underestimate Italanyi at your own risk.
Speaking in Malava, Barasa called on Oparanya to end his public onslaught and instead work on uniting Kakamega residents.
Nara wetu Raila Amolo Odinga amemfanyia huruma, alikuwa anateseka, amekatilia magari za county, alafu anasema Raila hana ushawishi Kakamega. Wewe umepewa kazi kama waziri, sasa unaona wewe ni mkubwa kushinda party leader wetu Raila Amolo Odinga. Mimi nataka kuambia wana ODM ya kwamba sisi tuko nyuma ya kinara wetu Raila Amolo Odinga.
In defense of his boss, Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula has dismissed Oparanya's claims, terming them as baseless.
When EACC is investigating their own issues, we only collaborate and give them facts the way they are according to the files. But any file that EACC requests, we are bound by the law to hand over the file to EACC for fairness so that people can investigate it. It is not only Kakamega where they are investigating the previous leaders in the previous regime. It's going all over the country.
The rift between the two has drawn concern from the county residents who are now calling for reconciliation.
Tarajia mheshimiwa governor atuambie anatengeneza barabara ya kwenda mahali fulani. Hii dere maziwa imesimama. Yeye kazi yake ni pombe. Waachana na Oparanya wetu. Oparanya tunamheshimu na alikuwa gavana wetu.
Tunataka utuonyeshe kazi utakuwa umefanya na Barasa come 2027. Oparanya hasa likazi.
The fallout between the two, who were once close allies, has marked a sharp turn in the county politics, as none of them has shown signs of backing down. For Newswatch, I'm Sami Adika.
Thank you, Sami, for that report. Moving on, Kisii County is set to host the regional and national celebrations marking 20 years of the ODM party. Making the announcement, National Assembly Minority Leader Janet Mohammed said the ODM at 20 celebrations that Kisii County is holding is because Kisii County is a stronghold of the political party. He says having elected its current governor under the party's banner. He added that Kisii County will be the third host of the ODM at 20 celebrations following successful events in Wajir and Busia. Governor Simba Arati, who is the party's deputy leader, has on his part issued a warning to anyone planning a parallel meeting on the same day, urging them to seek alternative venues to avoid disruptions. The governor extended an open invitation to the public to attend the celebrations, which will be held at the Gusii Stadium.
As you are aware, since devolution came into place in 2013, the county government of Kisii has been ODM. So we are coming here on Friday to celebrate with our government of ODM that's existing in Kisii County. Serikali yetu ya ODM ambaye iko katika county ya Kisii ndio tunakuja kusherekea miaka 20 ya uongozi bora wa chama cha ODM ikiongozwa na Baba Raila Amolo Odinga.
Mtu yote ambaye atakuwa na shughuli nyingine atafute mkutano. Nyantrago iko, Mosocho iko, hata Ugembo iko, utaweza fanya mkutano yako kule. Lakini mkutano ya Ijumaa hatuongei siasa yoyote. There is no politics. Sisi tunasherekea miaka 20. Tutakata keki ya ODM. Kwa hivyo wale ambao watakuja wakuje ni wana ODM, na wale marafiki wa ODM mkuje tusherekee, kwa sababu iko, utaweza fanya mkutano yako kule. Lakini mkutano ya Ijumaa hatuongei siasa yoyote. There is no politics. Sisi tunasherekea miaka 20. Tutakata keki ya ODM. Kwa hivyo wale ambao watakuja wakuje ni wana ODM, na wale marafiki wa ODM mkuje tusherekee, kwa sababu chama hii imekuwa mizizi yake kubwa iko hapo.
In Embu, chama cha Kazi candidate Duncan Mbui is accusing Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku of deploying government assets for partisan campaigning for the Mbeere North parliamentary by-election. Mbui, who is a contestant for the seat that was left vacant by Ruku when he was appointed to the cabinet, now says Ruku has transformed his ministerial office into a campaign tool for the UDA candidate Leonard Muthende. He further claims Ruku has been using taxpayers' money to fund helicopters and convoys of government vehicles to disburse Constituency Development Fund CDF allocations, saying such expenditure was extravagant and an insult to local residents who grappled with inadequate infrastructure and lack of essential services. Mbui has urged all government officials to maintain strict neutrality to ensure the voters of Mbeere North can choose their next member of parliament without coercion or bias.
Sisi tunajua rasilimali ya serikali ifai kutumiwa kufanya kampeni ya mtu binafsi. Leo hii tunaona ndege inatembea hapa, kila mashinani inaingia na ni ndege imefanya nini na serikali, imeletwa na serikali. Unapeana ndege inakuja kuleta cheki hapa Kiadhambu ya 300,000. Na saa hiyo ndege pamoja na ile pesa inatumiwa na magari ni zaidi ya milioni ngapi? 2. Sasa tunauliza, si afadhali ungetuma hata kijana hajaenda shule atuletee cheki na hakuna expenditure kuliko kutumia ndege na ile mambo ingine milioni 2 kuleta cheki ya 100,000. Tumekataa hiyo maneno. Na pesa ikikuja tutakula. Mutakubali kukula pesa? Tukule vizuri. Lakini tarehe 27 si mnajua vile tutafanya? Si tutawaonyesha vile tulionyesha 2022.
We're taking a short break here on Newswatch on Hope TV. We'll be back with more news items. Don't go too far.
Going back to the heart of worship.
Whether up the mountain or down the valley, we were created to worship God.
Enjoy carefully selected worship music every Wednesday all day long.
Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
take it a notch higher with more worship music.
Every Wednesday
Is Worship Wednesday.
only on Hope FM. Listen and leave.
Hi, my name is Sharon Aitore Wangenya. Thank you so much for being one of our viewers. We truly honor you and appreciate you. We'd love to know how you're receiving us, how your reception is in terms of the quality of the video and the audio as well. So please scan this QR code and give us your feedback. Thank you and God bless you.
We have no means and no ways in our own capacity or knowledge to bring someone to Christ. This is the perfect plan of God to bring us to maturity and to become spiritual people that would stand against the attacks of the enemy, the wiles of the enemy, and stood against persecution, opposition, and continue and finish the race. In the same situation, we have to find out what Jesus taught, and whatever is being said, we are not going to run away from what Jesus said.
There's a world out there searching for hope, and you can help bring it home. By becoming a friend of Hope, you're helping us share the love of Jesus through Hope FM and Hope TV. With a donation of any amount, join hands with us to bring hope and point souls to the transforming power of Jesus Christ. Become a friend of Hope today by making your donation through the M-Pesa paybill number 933933, account FOH. For more information on how to become a friend of Hope, call 0116-212-723 or email customerexperience@hopefm.org or visit www.hopemediakenya.org. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
We're back with business news now. The National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, has relaunched a crackdown on the use and production of plastic bags following a re-emergence. The environmental watchdog said it had embarked on intensified enforcement activities after receiving reports that some manufacturers have secretly continued producing the prohibited polythene bags despite existing regulations. In a public notice, NEMA reminded Kenyans that under the new 2024 regulations, no one is allowed to manufacture, possess or sell plastic bags without a valid license. Offenders risk jail terms of up to 4 years or fines of up to 4 million shillings. The authority says enforcement is ongoing and has urged all businesses handling plastic bags or packaging to seek proper authorization or face legal action. The Kenya Aviation Workers Union has issued a 7-day strike notice to the Kenya Airports Authority, threatening to paralyze operations at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport if their demands are not met. At the center of their dispute is an alleged transfer of ground flight safety operations from the KAA to the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, a move the union says was done without consultation and could lead to job losses and revenue decline. The union has also cited delayed confirmations of over 500 contract staff, unpaid overtime allowances, unimplemented promotions and stalled CBAs. KAA Board Chair Caleb Kositani has denied claims of a completed transfer and says talks with KCAA are still ongoing. If unresolved, the strike could ground flights and cripple operations at Kenya's busiest airport. And now to sports. The Football Kenya Federation FKF President Hussein Mohamed and Vice President McDonald Mariga have loaded Mozart Bet for sponsoring 3 National Super League clubs, Kisumu All Stars, Migori Youth FC and 3K FC. Speaking at the unveiling, FKF said the partnership was timely as the league season kicks off. Mohamed has urged other corporates to follow suit and invest in the NSL clubs to offer the league the much-needed support. Arsenal says it is expecting Noni Madueke to miss about 6 to 8 weeks with a knee injury sustained in the 1-1 draw with Manchester City on Sunday. However, the 23-year-old England international is not believed to have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury, with medics reportedly waiting for the swelling to subside before making a definitive diagnosis on the injury. It is, however, understood that Madueke will be sidelined for a minimum of 6 weeks, though that timescale is thought to be the best-case scenario. The summer signing from Chelsea was substituted at half-time of the Premier League match with City and has been undergoing tests to discover the severity of the problem. If the initial prognosis is confirmed, Madueke will not return to action until November at the earliest, ruling him out of a clutch of key domestic and European games for the Gunners. That's it from Newswatch. Thank you for your company as we brought you this newscast. It's been my pleasure. My name is Melissa Oduor. On the sign language has been Boniface Muredi. On behalf of the entire production crew that made this possible, have a good night.